Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2017 and part 17 of Season 1 of our Renault career mode, and today we have the Italian Grand Prix. But before we get into things, I do need to apologise because the update we did at the last episode, I did before I quit the game, and then when I've come into it today I had the contract event and all that, and I just progressed forward to the next weekend, forgot to redo the upgrade, so that'll hopefully be in place for next episode. We'll go ahead and do it in a minute, but Chris the engineer just gave us this little sort of comparison of how teams are doing, and we haven't really had much progress since the Austrian Grand Prix, so it'll be good to get that update in place for the next few Grand Prix. But you can see Mercedes, oh sorry, no, it's Force India that are above us. They haven't updated recently either, but Toro also had an update in place for the last Grand Prix in Belgium, and they're catching up to us now. So let's go ahead and do the R&D business. We're drawing the rivalry, which is great. Yeah, we had that reminder to use all of the resource points. So we'll go into chassis and we'll do that, and it should be in place for Singapore, which will be a good place to have a chassis upgrade come in, and hopefully we can go and get some more resource points in this session and maybe go ahead and get another update. They're all 1,000 resource points though, so let's see if we can do any of these. It doesn't look like it. What about these? Nope. Everything's a bit expensive now. I mean, we could do one of those, but I'm not really bothered about that yet. If we can get to 1,000 resource points by the end of the episode, then I think we'll go ahead and do the rear wing end plate. I think that'll be, or main plate I should say, that would be a good update to do. But in the championship things are looking good. We are currently in, there we go, 8th position. If we can finish in the top 8 this season, that would be great, and hopefully we can push on and finish 7th, best of the rest, and yeah, we'll progress from there. Hoping for a good result here in Italy, one of my favourite tracks. So let's get into the qualifying report and see what happened in qualifying.
In a mixed conditions qualifying day for the Italian Grand Prix, Q1 was the most normal session on a day of mixed grid positions. The Sauber cars originally qualified P20 and P16 respectively, and then they move up to P17 for Ericsson and P14 for Verline after both Williams and Massa and Stroll took penalties, a controversial move at a track which should be strong for them, starting 15th and 20th respectively, and also 2 gearbox penalties for Daniel Kvyat and Fernando Alonso, taking up 19th and 18th spots. Stoffel Van Dorn filled the gap in P16 for McLaren, with Daniel Kvyat's teammate Carlos Sainz impressing in P9. Q2 was a wet session to start with, but became drier, which caught Sebastian Vettel out as he failed to switch to the dry tyres, and he dropped out in Q2 with the biggest shock and was only 11th, but then started 10th for the Grand Prix after grid penalties for competitors. The likes of Carlos Sainz and Romain Grosjean provided shocks on the dry tyres to comfortably get a place in Q3. But Magnussen, Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon dropped out, and they start 13th, 12th and 11th respectively. Q3 was an even wetter session, with many, including Raymaster Lewis Hamilton, struggling for grip, starting the Grand Prix today in 6th place. Carlos Sainz starts 9th, with Romain Grosjean 8th and Sergio Perez P7. The Red Bulls start P4 and 5, with Verstappen beating Ricciardo by 4 tenths, and it was a finish 1-3 with Bottas beating Raikkonen by 1.3 seconds to pole. But in between the two was Joe Hannard, who made a bold move to go onto the intermediates at the end of the session, and he splits the Finns in second. Can the Brit go on to win his rookie first Grand Prix and upset the Tifosi? Well, let's go to Crofty and Ant in the commentary box now to find out.
It's a very tight turn 1 here and a very big braking zone. It's a corner, Anthony Davidson, where we've seen a number of lap 1 incidents in the past.
As you say, it's a very small piece of track when you have more than just one car trying to go through it. The actual run down towards the chicane is quite wide, so off the start we'll often see drivers running 2 or maybe 3 abreast as they come up towards the braking zone. Everyone wants to brake late, of course, to win track position, and that tends to be where we see a lot of contact. And you'll see the more experienced drivers kind of hang back a little into here and focus more on picking up the pieces from other people's incidents.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and a Renault alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Hamilton, Perez, Grosjean, Sainz, and Sebastian Vettel, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and Wehrlein, Massa, Van Dorn, Marcus Ericsson, and Fernando Alonso. Kvyat and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
It's a long run to turn 1. Be careful with diving in, as it's going to get very tight very quickly. Good luck.
Right guys, here we are down on the track. P2, unbelievable qualifying session. We were the only ones to go with the intermediates in Q3. It was very much sort of on the boundary, if you like, on the threshold of wet weather conditions, and yeah, we went pole position for pretty much all of the session, and then after the checkered flag went, Bottas went and did that 133, so maybe a bit of a glitch there, but never mind. We're start P2, we've got a clear track up ahead of us, and yeah, we've got a genuine chance of a podium today, and that's something we haven't had all season long. You know, we finished 4th in at Silverstone, but we have gone for a brand new power unit this weekend, trying to sort of increase the power, if you like, on the car. Obviously no penalty because we're within the 6 that we've already sort of got, so it's power unit 4, I think, this one, and that we've invested in for this weekend, and then we'll be switching back to an older one next weekend in Singapore when we've hopefully got that update as well. That is the plan. But a long run down to turn 1. If we can get a good start, we could be leading this Grand Prix throughout the first stint, and you never know, we might actually win the race. But yeah, Valtteri Bottas starting on the soft tyres. We have got an opportunity here today to take the lead down into turn 1. Obviously there was quite a bit of tyre differences in Q2. Sort of half the track were on dry tyres. I set my first time on dry tyres and then went out again on the intermediates and set a better time, just because it was in that sort of crossover between the wet and between the intermediates and the slicks, and managed to improve and get into Q3, knocking Sebastian Vettel out in Q2, but he moves up to P10 because of Massa's penalty. So I think Massa was going to be starting P3, so he's had quite a bad penalty to go down to P15 today. But I can't really remember where he was going to qualify, to be totally honest with you. But here we come, up to the grid for the race start. Valtteri Bottas starting on pole position on the soft tyres. We're going to line up in second. We've got Kimi Raikkonen in the Ferrari just behind us in third. We've got Verstappen and Ricciardo just behind them. Luckily Hamilton is quite far down the grid, as is Sebastian Vettel. So hopefully, if we get off to a good start and into the lead, you never ever know what can happen after that. So everybody's lined up and we're going to get ready for the lights. This is the most important start of the season so far. Here we go then. Lights out, away we go here in Italy. A bit of wheel spin for Valtteri Bottas, but a very good start for him and Kimi Raikkonen from the start. We sort of bogged down in second and third gear, but we're going to have a look back down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen into turn 1. Oh wow, we got a bit on the curbs and, well, we've lost a little bit of our front wing. I think we should be okay with that, but yeah, we're gonna try and go around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. We're almost on the grass. Valtteri Bottas is sort of running away now up towards the Lesmos. He leads after the first sector. Kimi Raikkonen is back down to third after we take second back from him. Well, we're obviously going to up the downforce a little bit on the car, at the pit stop. We're probably going to move it up to 6, I think, just to try and compensate for the fact we've lost a front wing end plate. Kimi Räikkönen now having a look in our slipstream as we go through Ascari, but a bit of an intense start of the lap. Obviously Kimi Räikkönen went a little bit wide into turn 2. We tried to do the cutback and then he sort of came back across us and we lost a little bit of our front wing. Just a bit clumsy from us in the end there, but no, a good start to the Grand Prix. We're still in 2nd, which is, you know, a wonderful result if we can hold it here. And obviously Valtteri Bottas on the soft tyres. We should be quicker than him at this stage, but we'll see if we can catch up to him throughout the 2nd lap and hold off Kimi Räikkönen.
Okay, clear. Some information.
Well, Sebastian Vettel's out of the race. I don't know what's happened there. Should we have a look on the replay camera? He's up here, so that's him there. And, well, he just pulled over to the side. I'm assuming he's had a mechanical issue. He wasn't very safe about it, but Sebastian Vettel out of the race. Hasn't had a good weekend here. And virtual safety car has been signalled. So that'll reduce the pace of everybody. Oh. Gonna go down to lean just to sort of save some fuel. Oh dear. On the curbs a little bit there. We're catching up to Valtteri Bottas here. I know we're technically breaking the rules here and there, but right, what's the strategy? I don't know. Come in this lap? Okay. And we've totally went to sleep there on the virtual safety car. We're going to go down the inside of Kimi Räikkönen through Ascari and we're through. It was a good move. I mean, we may have pushed him off the track by the looks of things, but we're through. I think he said lap 4, so I don't think we're coming into the pits this lap. We'll just stick with our normal strategy. We've lost a lot of ground on Valtteri Bottas because we went to sleep. Thinking about strategy changes and stuff, so that's a bit of a bummer, but yeah, we'll come into the pits at the end of next lap, I think, to depend on where we are at the end of this one, and see what we can do here. Still in the fight for a podium. Alright guys, we're going to come into the pits this lap and get a bit more downforce on the car. Got to be careful in this pit lane. I think we just about got that. Put on a new set of soft tyres because these ones are past the best, to be honest with you. And hopefully the extra bit of downforce on the car will help us. And we should be fine to continue. 2.6 seconds in that pit stop, not too bad at all. We got that extra downforce up to 6 then. And well, we're behind Kimi Räikkönen. I'm guessing he hasn't been into the pits just yet, so interesting to see how far he fell after our little incident on the last lap, but we'll call it karma for the first lap incident. But we've dropped to the rear of the field, which is probably good. We're out of traffic, put some good laps in, and hopefully still be in the fight for the podium. So Kimi Räikkönen into the pits, and we are through. Up to 11th now. And we've got Hamilton as well, so it looks like we've certainly sort of regained where we were before. I don't know how much Hamilton was held up in the pits, but it was good coming in that lap early, just so we got that little bit of an undercut on these soft tyres, and now we've got to just flat out race to the end and try and get this elusive podium. Here comes Lewis Hamilton round the outside. He's had the DRS and he's through. That's annoying. Oh, and we just really badly cut the corner there. Gonna have to go into Rich Mix and try and overtake him on the pit straight. It's as good a chance as any. It's probably the best place to be overtaken just before this long pit straight. But have we got the straight line speed over the Mercedes? with the DRS open? That's the question. I don't know if we're close enough here. We've got the DRS wide open. We're going to be back up into 6th position now. We're not close enough. We're not close enough. So it looks like Hamilton's got us now. And it's a Mercedes 1-2 at the moment. And with Hamilton leading the championship, Vettel out of the race, this could be a really key result in the championship battle. So there's some more people in the pits, Kvyat and Verstappen, so we move up to 3rd position as it stands. Bottas has come into the pits as well. Hamilton really on a charge. He's been setting fastest lap after fastest lap. We're just about keeping him honest at the moment, but he's on a charge after his teammate Bottas. But we're looking good for a podium right now. We've got Ricciardo a couple of seconds behind, so as long as we don't make any mistakes, we should be tasting the champagne. So we're coming on to the last lap. Mercedes have just dominated the final stint. We've sort of kept the gap to Ricciardo, and yeah, Nico Hulkenberg in P9 at the moment, so it'll be a lot of points for us in the Constructors against Force India in this Grand Prix to hopefully hold on to 4th place by the end of the season. Ricciardo and Verstappen fighting it out behind. The Ferraris are nowhere to be seen. Felipe Massa is P6 apparently. Vettel's out of the race obviously, and Kimi Räikkönen was down in 18th the last time we seen him. So looks like that incident with us sort of changed his race. I didn't know it was that serious. I thought he might have just went a little bit wide and sort of carried on, but apparently not. Maybe he's spun or something like that, I really don't know. But we're coming through the final sector now, still in P3. This would be a really, really good result in our first podium in F1 2017. Oh, and it's been a long time coming. We've not really had any chance of a result like this, but a free qualifying means that we've been up here and we've managed to maintain our position. Valtteri Bottas wins the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton finishes in 2nd. We go a little bit wide around Parabolica, but we're going to come through in 3rd position and get our first podium of F1 2017.
That was an excellent drive.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So there we are, spraying the champagne on the podium for our first ever Grand Prix podium. I was trying to see if our name was on the racing suit there, but we finished 3rd. Nico Hulkenberg finishing in 8th in the end, overtaking Esteban Ocon near the end. Massa finishes 6th. As I said, Räikkönen down in 12th, so no points for Ferrari in their home Grand Prix. These are the standings then. Lewis Hamilton leads the way 2-2-3, only a point ahead of Valtteri Bottas, with Vettel in 3rd. Was Vettel leading the championship then? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Hamilton was 3 points ahead. So Vettel in 3rd on 21 points behind. Kimi Räikkönen in 4th. We move back up to 7th, closing in on Max Verstappen. Nico Hulkenberg back into the top 10 as well. Let's have a look at the Constructors. Really good race for us. We're now 12 points ahead of Force India in 4th place. And yeah, I think things are looking good. We've got Singapore next. Obviously, Renault did very, very well there in real life. You know, Nico Hulkenberg looking like he was going to get a podium. Julian Palmer eventually finishing 6th. So, yeah, It could be a good Grand Prix for us, but we'll just have to see. And if you've enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like down below. It really does mean a lot for me and for the channel, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.